These are some of the childlike artworks of Pablo Picasso that are selling for millions of dollars. And this is an image of Pablo Picasso with his child labor force making art. Now the question becomes, how is it possible that these children-like artworks are selling for millions of dollars? So let's take a look at what Pablo Picasso himself said, his own explanation about the value of his art. So at some point he's in a bar and he's doodling on a napkin and he's pondering about what the critics are saying. He hates the critics. They're criticizing him for his childlike primitive drawings and he just can't stand them. And as his coffee is finished, he's ready to go away. He takes a napkin, ready to throw it in the bin, and a woman is watching and she stops him in his tracks and she says, "Wow, this is so beautiful. What a beautiful drawing that you made in a minute. Amazing. How much would this cost? I want to buy it." And Picasso replies, "Well, this one would cost $5,000. What? Insane. So the woman starts to think about this is unbelievable. How is this possible? You were ready to throw it away. I literally saw that and you made it in 1 minute. How is it possible that this is worth $5,000? She thinks it's a joke. And Picasso replies, "Well, it took me 1 minute to make, but it took me a lifetime to be able to make it in 1 minute." And he walks off. But I'm an artist myself, and I can tell you that these childlike drawings, these childlike artworks, look like they've been made by a child because a child could in fact make them. You don't need a lifetime of skills to be able to make this stuff. And so there must be something else. So in order to understand what's really going on, we have to go back to Spain where Pablo Picasso grew up. As a young prodigy, it was clear that he had some talent for making art. At the age of 13, he surpassed the talent of his father, who was also an artist. And his father, afraid that he is going to become one of those poor, starving artists of which he knew so many, tells the young Picasso that talent and skill is not enough. He has to make a name for himself, and he cannot do that from the comfort of Spain. He tells Picasso he has to go to the art center of the world, and so at the age of 19, Picasso follows the advice of his father and goes to Paris. Paris is the place to be for artists, the social media of its time. In the first couple of years, Picasso is struggling financially. He was relying on charities of friends during these early times and often paints over existing works because he simply cannot afford a new canvas. Sometimes it goes so far that he has to choose between food or art supplies. And so he starts to realize firsthand that talent doesn't actually matter at all. Everyone in Paris wants to be an artist and the competition is simply too high. On top of that, he doesn't even speak French. Picasso is afraid of the future. What if he doesn't make it? How can he possibly network and meet the right people when he doesn't even speak the language? What if he starves like the artists his father warned him about? And in the midst of his despair, one of his best friends, someone he grew up with in Spain and lived with in Paris, a fellow artist, can't take it anymore. And in 1901 commits suicide. And for the next 3 years, Picasso is in a depression because he mourns his friend and he's afraid of his future. During this whole period, from 1901 to 1904, he creates blue artworks with a melancholic undertone that are now known as the blue periods. So the question becomes, how is Picasso going to turn this around? He has no money, he has nothing. The friends surrounding him are committing suicide. This is insane. Well, he meets, this is the turning point of his career, he meets Ambroise Vollard, a gallerist that is known for representing younger artists, that is known to give them a chance. This is still a very high-risk scenario for Ambroise Vollard because Picasso has no sales track record, he has nothing yet. Ambroise Vollard gives him a chance and he is not known as a gallerist with high morals or anything like that. And so the sales strategies that he's using are very sneaky. For example, couple walks into the gallery. Ambroise Vollard shows them a Picasso from the blue period, the beautiful artwork, high skill level, amazing. And then, when they start to get really interested and they start to really want to buy the work, he quickly pretends that he gets a phone call or that there's some important business that he has to finish. And he asks them to come back tomorrow. The next day, they come back. And lo and behold, the artwork they were interested in sold. It didn't actually sell. He pretends that it sold. And now he shows them an artwork of lesser quality. And okay, the couple starts to get interested again, and the same thing happens. The moment they are really interested, He pretends that he has some business to do, asks them to come back the next day, and lo and behold, they come back the next day. What happens? Boom, artwork is sold again. Now, he shows them, the third time, he shows them an artwork of even lesser quality, a childlike doodle, something of rudimentary value. But this time, the couple is like, okay, we have to buy this. We have to buy this, otherwise it's going to be sold. This is clearly a sought after artist. And so, what do? They buy the childlike rudimentary drawing that doesn't make any sense. And lo and behold, Picasso starts to sell work with these sales strategies of Ambroise Vollard. And at some point, Ambroise Vollard says, okay, we have some proof that these artworks sell. Let's do a solo exhibition with the young Picasso. He does that. The solo exhibition becomes a huge success. Gertrude Stein, one of those top-level collectors at the time, is interested in a work called Garçon à la pipe and buys the work. Garçon à la pipe is the most pivotal moment in Picasso's career because without Gertrude Stein there would be no Picasso. And so convincing Gertrude Stein to buy the work is of utmost importance. Now, the art establishment, the art historians, they want you to believe that the boy depicted in Garçon à la pipe is just a random boy he met in Montmartre, he met in Paris. We don't know who is depicted, but I don't actually buy that. I find it very strange that nobody suggests that it's this guy. A guy he knew very well. A guy that was very close to his heart. A guy that committed suicide in 1901. His best friend, Carlos Casagemas. Let me know what you think in the comments. Now, in order to make this story complete, we have to talk about one more peculiar thing. The strange thing about the art world is that it's upside down. If you look at lawyers or doctors, they are being judged by the value of the service that they provide. But in the art world, people are being judged by the quality of the customers and the quality of the people who own the building in which they do their practice. Without Gertrude Stein and Ambroise Vollard, there is no Picasso. And so skills are simply not enough. That is what Picasso is showing us here, and that is what his father warned him about all the way back in Spain. And there's one thing that convinces galleries to work with you and collectors to buy your work way more than fancy degrees will ever do, way more than good quality art will ever do, way more than good quality social skills will ever do. I've talked about it in a video called How This 22-Year-Old Made Millions. Link in the description and in the end screen that said, get the hell out of here.